Peace. Good morning. How you doing, family? Today is Friday. You made it to the end of the week, and I want to do something just a little bit different. Definitely different than how we have done it in the past, but I want to set the tone. And we already know that today we're talking about setting the tone. So let's set the tone right now. Just listen to the sound and put yourself in that headspace. Put yourself in the headspace to where you're controlling your thoughts. Put yourself in the headspace to where you are the master of your emotions. You are putting yourself in a healthy way of thinking. And again, today, I want you to set the tone. Now, after we set the tone and we go into talk about what we're going to be discussing in setting the tone, you're going to be able to see how important setting the tone is and how setting the tone begins the process of fortifying your thoughts and fortifying your emotions and fortifying the who that you are when you begin the process of setting the tone. Setting the tone is going to allow you to manage your expectations. Setting the tone is going to allow you to be in the midst of a room and to still be comfortable within your own skin because you set the tone for yourself. Like we spoke about yesterday, was controlling the controllable. If you don't allow the uncontrollable to control you, then you're putting yourself in the space to where you're not setting the tone. So going off on yesterday, controlling the controllable, that allows you to grow. And now let's go into what we're going to be discussing today of setting the tone. Like I always do when I set the tone, I show gratitude in the beginning. First off, definitely appreciate you for being here. Definitely appreciate you for being blessed to be alive, been blessed to make it to Friday because there was someone who did not make it to this day because yesterday was the last breath that they breathed in this life, in this physical life. So I thank you for being here. I bless you for being here, and everyone that is listening on the Facebook side, go ahead and share this. Those who are listening on the YouTube side, make sure you share this. Those who are listening in the podcast world, whether you're listening on Google, Spotify, Anchor, all those other mediums, share this because now we're going to begin the process of setting the tone. All right. For me, setting the tone for myself really began to heal me internally as I began to go through this lesson plan and learn about what setting the tone is and how setting the tone can actually begin the process of that self-heal. Good morning, Miss Selena. All right, so let's jump into it. Definitely not going to be on here long, but I want to be an impact when we're on. That's the thing. Let's create a impact with the time that we have and create an impact in the time that we're in, particular in certain settings. All right, here we go. Set the tone. All right, the definition tone is a reference to its pitch, quality, and strength. Now, the things that I have highlighted are the things that I want you to look at internally. Again, every time that we're speaking, look at it from an internal perspective, not an outward perspective to where you're pointing the finger at someone else. We're only talking about what are the inconsistencies that we're having and how do we transition those inconsistencies to consistencies that is going to create a currency for you, something that it either be concurrent or something that is possibly going to allow you to create some sort of monetization with what you do when you begin to monetize your thoughts. All right. In reference to its pitch, quality, or strength, the pitch, how are you speaking to people? How are you communicating to people? How are you setting the pitch in the room? What are the qualities of the things that you're saying to people? Now, this is for you and how you communicate, because there is a big difference between tone and mood, because the tone that you give off on someone has the ability to change the mood of the room. The tone or the pitch or the quality of the words that you breathing into someone, or the quality sound or the quality of words that you breathing into your child, could alter their moods and even begin to alter their future, because you're feeding and giving them good tone in perfect peace, which will then begin to create a qualities within the child, and that will bring out the strength that they have when you're giving them a different type of pitch and quality that is going to make it stronger and also have the ability to make them stronger as well, just off of your tone. All right. Now, in this tone, again, like we were saying, as far as the atmosphere in the room, when you develop an atmosphere of respect or class, then you have the ability to alter what is going on in that particular setting, as well as alter the atmosphere of you either not kicking things off and you're being looked at in a certain way, because in your inner atmosphere has the ability to change the environment that you're in. When you just change your tone, you have the ability to change your atmosphere and change your environment. All right, so the first thing in setting the tone is to tone down. Now, I had to do this morning, um, because there was a situation that I was dealing with. Normally, I don't really talk in the morning, because I want to be in a certain headspace. I want to be in a certain psyche to where I'm thinking more internally. But I was in a space to where there was so much going on in conversations that was going on in my head, as well as conversation and communicating, that at the end I had to tone down, because it began to alter how I was feeling. It was beginning to alter how I was thinking. So I had to tone down. Have you ever been in a place to where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to let you get the best of me. I'm not going to let you take me out of my element. Or someone's going to say, I'm not going to let you make me lose my religion. That's you toning down. That's you making something less extreme or intense. If you can understand tone down, go ahead and put tone down in the comment section, because it's resonating with you. Because in order for you to make less extreme or intense, as you can see, make is pulling outside of the something less extreme or intense, because to make something, you have to intentionally do it. You have to understand that you have to physically put yourself in that space to say, you know what? I'm not going to make you do something that I know I can't make you do. So I'm going to control my controllable. So I'm going to tone down, because I'm not going to make this as extreme as it may possibly be, but I'm going to control my emotions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tone down. Why? Because I'm going to control the controllable. And the next thing that hit me is tone up. Tone up is to give. Now, remember, the other one was to make. After you make it, then you have the ability to give a different type of energy, to give greater strength or firmness. To give greater strength or firmness, because when you make that thought and change and shift the way that you're thinking, you then have the ability to give a different type of energy, to set a different type of tone in the room, which can then alter the mood in the room because you are giving something greater. You are giving a greater strength and a firmness, because when you begin to learn and understand how to tone up the way that you think, or tone up the way that you manage a room, or tone up the way that you control the environment, you're going to have to develop that as a muscle strength. As you can see, the brain right there with the weights, that's a muscle memory. You're going to have to do that all the time. You're going to have to acknowledge when you feel a certain way, when you're in certain settings, or when you are involved in certain things, and it puts you in a position to where you feel like this intense situation is taking you out of your element, and you have to remember what you do to tone up. Develop that as a muscle memory. You can practice that. There was a video that I was listening to, and one of the things that he said is called like the Wonder Woman stance. The Wonder Woman stance, like when you used to watch Wonder Woman, if you ever seen it, whether you watch the old school joint or you watch the new one, when Wonder Woman stands there with her hands on her hips, and she's standing with her shoulders broad and her chest poked out, that is like the stance of strength. What if that was you in that moment when someone is pushing you down and you put your hands on your hips? Now you either going to do it really physically, literally, or you're going to do it mentally. You're standing there like, you know what? Hands on your hips. I'm better than this. You're telling yourself this. I'm better than this. I can do this. I'm a tone up because I know there's something greater on the other side. You might have to do that. Put yourself in that Wonder Woman stance, or some of you manly men like me, put yourself in that Superman stance and be like, I can do this. You're going to have to make that muscle memory in order for you to confirm and to firm your thoughts and what you do. And a lot of y'all, it's easy for you to swipe up on Instagram, and easy for you to swipe up on Facebook, but you can't swipe up in your own life. You're living in that moment. You have to have the ability to swipe up to start something new, to swipe up to see something different, to swipe up and see yourself coming out of that situation, to swipe up and see yourself coming out of that circumstance, to swipe up and see yourself creating something new, to swipe up to see your child being bigger and better and greater than what your child was the day before, to swipe up to see your relationship grow because you're looking at it from the perspective of it has been pressured on you, or like the song Tone Down for What? I don't have to be toned down because I have the ability to tone up, swipe up, and create something new. Because remember, to tone up is to give a greater strength or firmness. But you have to make sure that you create that muscle memory to know what it's like to swipe up and get yourself through that situation and circumstance, because you have the ability to. And I guarantee you, when you begin to mentally swipe up, or psychologically swipe up, or even physically swipe up, you're going to do things bigger, better, and greater. Why? Because you are going to give yourself the opportunity to be better today, or even better tomorrow, because in your preparation, remember we talked about preparation 2 days ago, 2 podcasts ago, we talked about preparation. But in your preparation today, it will build your tomorrow to be a lot better than what it is right now, because you're preparing yourself. In your tone up today is preparing you to give a much greater and a much stronger affirmation, and a much greater and a much stronger conclusion, because you prepared yourself today. And that this is where we were today. In the beginning, when I was telling you, let's set the tone, put yourself in that mindset, put yourself in that moment, have that aha moment with yourself. You don't always have to have an aha moment with somebody else. You can develop aha moments with yourself. Put your hands on your hips and tell yourself from the Wonder Woman or the Superman perspective that I can do this. And that's that tone with. That tone with is to harmonize with something in terms of color, because color can be emotions. Just like if you ever looked at the emotion tab and stuff like that, the emotions, the colors of the emotions change the conditions in the room. The color of the emotions change the settings. It changed in certain settings that you're in. But what are we going to look at? We're going to look at how to harmonize with something in terms, because there's going to be times where you're going to have to sit down and you're going to have to woosah that moment. That's why it says harmonize with something in terms, on your terms, not somebody else's terms, your terms. That's when you look within and say, you know what? I need to tone with. Either I'm harmonizing with you because we see it the same way, or I need to harmonize with myself and look inwardly to say, on my terms is when I will harmonize. And when I have the ability to harmonize on my terms with myself, what I can give a greater strength or firmness because I've harmonized with me. All right, this the last thing is the best tone is the atone of oneself. Atonement. You forgiving you. To atone with yourself. And when you begin to understand that forgiving someone starts with you forgiving yourself, the best tone is the tone of oneself. You're going to have to give yourself your own reparations. Give yourself back to you. Speak firmly into yourself. Speak firmly into your life. And I guarantee you, when you begin to atone for yourself and speak words and speak and breathe life into yourself, then you have the ability to give a greater strength with firmness. And then you develop that muscle memory. All right, y'all. I appreciate you definitely for being here. This is what consistency and consistency is currency podcast is about. Is giving you perspective. Is giving you the ability. Is giving you those words that then goes into the definition and either into the etymology and bringing it into real life perspective. And make sure you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Why? Because you set the tone. Y'all be blessed. Peace.